Krystle. I've loved dolls my whole life. I collect everything from porcelain to cloth, American Girl, neonates, and real care dolls. But my favorite is to collect and make Reborn dolls. There's Chloe, Grace, Jeremy, Maya, Yuki, Savannah, Zoe, Haley, Landon, Maisie, and Joshua. It isn't easy keeping up with my collection, but it sure is a lot of fun. Hi guys, I'm here to change Haley. She's been in this snowman, present, and candy cane print sleeper since around just after Christmas. So I'm going to change her into this pink and white striped fleece sleeper with a fox on it. I don't know, I've just been feeling like putting all of my babies in sleepers just because I love pajamas and I have so many pajamas in my drawers. I love to wear pajamas when I'm at home. As long as I am at home and I don't have company coming over, I am wearing my pajamas. So, I love to have my babies in pajamas, and I thought I have so many pajamas for my babies that a lot of times I haven't used, so I thought I would just get my babies in some nice warm snuggly pajamas for this cold wintry week. And I'm going to talk about another topic that sort of came to mind, and I guess it was another topic that came to mind over the past year. And it sort of I sort of touched upon it briefly in the video where I was talking about, you know, how would you feel if someone found your YouTube channel that you know, didn't really want them to find. And I was talking about how going into 2020, I'm kind of gonna try to be a little more careful with what I talk about on my channel. And but then with that, I also want to sort of play a little bit of devil's advocate again, because it's a little frustrating to feel censored. I don't know if any of you guys feel this with your YouTube channels, but I think first and foremost, we all started, I think, feeling a little censored when all of these new YouTube policies and changes started coming into play, where it was like, your video has to be advertiser friendly and all this stuff, and you know, you can't show naked babies, or like not real babies, but like naked silicone dolls, because like then you might get flagged for nudity and your video won't be advertiser friendly anymore, and all of this stuff. And you know, it's kind of like, you know, YouTube is supposed to be a fun place, a creative outlet, and you know, so I started to feel censored around that time. It was kind of like, oh, okay. And also, like, they had put out something at the time saying like you can't discuss like concerning, I don't know how they worded it exactly, but like disturbing content, I guess. And it almost came across to me, although I guess I completely misunderstood, which obviously just happened with the whole FTC thing too, was a lot of people were unclear because they were so vague with their policies. And again, you know, the advertiser friendly thing was pretty vague as well. It almost made it sound like if you discussed things like health issues that could be potentially upsetting, or if you're discussing things like medication, that would not be considered advertiser friendly. And I was thinking, like, what? Like, I'm here, you know, like, I want to share my journey with lupus and what things have worked and haven't worked for me and things like that. But here they are, trying to say you can't talk about this and you can't talk about that. And I actually did have a few of my very old lupus vlogs flagged by YouTube saying that they were not advertiser friendly. I did appeal them, and thankfully YouTube reinstated the monetization, so that was good. So obviously that was a situation where it was misunderstood and their algorithm and all that crap picked up the wrong thing. So all of my videos, like once they got over the, I guess once the algorithm got used to the new changes, none of my videos have ever been flagged as not advertiser friendly since then. So that's when I kind of realized, okay, I guess I misunderstood the rules and I can still talk about these things and monetize the videos. But yeah, and then, you know, I've had some times where sometimes family has had issues with certain things I've talked about on my channel. And I've had to like delete videos or edit things out of videos and re-upload the videos. Because I've like, you know, slipped on a topic I shouldn't have talked about or whatever, and things like that. So it's like, this is my YouTube channel, and for me, originally before I even got monetized, my YouTube channel has always been something that's very therapeutic for me. So, you know, like, when you have a chronic illness like lupus, you go through so many emotions on a day-to-day basis. And you, unless you personally know someone else who is dealing with the same thing, you know, yes, you can talk to family about it, but they will never fully understand what you're feeling or what you're going through unless they're going through it themselves. And so, you know, I can talk to Alex about what I'm feeling till I'm blue in the face, and he can be there for me and hug me, but he can't help me. He can't fix me. He can't change anything. And he will never fully understand because he's not going, like, he doesn't have this illness. For him, like, he has a whole other perspective. And so for me, getting on YouTube is a way that I can get those feelings out, because I am the type of person, and I have been like this since I was a child, by the way. Like, this is nothing new. I am the type of person that will bottle things up until I explode. And then I have like a crying fit for like hours on end, and I can't stop, and I have like a panic, and like I keep everything inside. And so for me, it was like when I found YouTube and started making my lupus vlogs and connecting with other lupus patients, it was very therapeutic for me. Because these were people that were going through the same thing, and they could be understanding, and they could offer advice and support because they know, because they're in it. And so it was a way for me to get everything off of my chest, not load everything onto my husband or family members and stress people out. It was a way for me to just vent, get everything out, and get support from other people who are in similar situations. Especially when it comes to not being able to have children. And I know then that's where, like, it started to become really great that I was making videos with my dolls, because then I also started to connect with the Reborn community. And I have discovered through the comments, like, a lot of people that watch my videos also can't have kids of their own, and that's one of the reasons that they're in this hobby. And so when I have shared things in the past, like how whenever I have found out a friend or a family member is pregnant, it's like literally a stab in the heart. It's like I've got the wind knocked out of me, and I am happy for the person, and I want to be happy for the person, but in that moment it's like I'm gutted, because it's a reminder that I am never going to have that. And it's the same thing where, like, if I've had to go to a baby shower over the years, I've gone to quite a few. If I have to go to a baby shower, it is like, oh, it is so difficult for me to get through a baby shower, because I'm trying to be happy for that person, and I am. And, you know, like one of my friends, I went to her baby shower, and I absolutely had a blast putting together her gift, because I did like a huge gift basket for her of so many things, because it was like, well, I'm not going to be able to buy this stuff for my own child. I'm going to have fun, like, spoiling my friend. And, you know, I was happy for her. Don't get me wrong. I was very, very happy for her. But as I was sitting there during the shower, just watching her opening all these baby items, it was heartbreaking for me. And I was like trying to get through the shower without breaking down into tears. And so whenever I've talked about that topic as well, not just lupus symptoms and medications, but like talking about that aspect of not being able to have kids, it's been great to connect with people in the comments that are in the same position, that they either are dealing with infertility and can't have children, or they're in the same place as me where their mental health or physical health has basically forced them to come to the decision to not have children. And it's been great being able to connect with those people in the comments and hear their stories and realize that, like, I'm not alone in this, because I feel like a lot of people automatically assume that if you can't have kids, it means you're infertile. And that's not always the case. And so a lot of times, like, if you try to connect online with people, or even people in person, it's sort of like, well, they're sort of in a position where they physically can't get pregnant for whatever reason. Like, they try and they can't get pregnant. And so, like, I've had people, you know, when I've talked about, like, being upset that I can't have kids, they automatically assume that I have fertility issues. And that is not the case. And so I like to shine a light on the fact that there are people out there that have basically been forced to make the decision to not have kids because of their health. And, you know, otherwise, like, if their health was fine, they'd be able to just go ahead and have kids. And so it's hard to find people in real life, offline, that are in that situation. So for me, this is where YouTube has been a blessing, in that I can connect with people that are in similar positions, and they share that they've had those same feelings, but they share with me how they've come out the other side and they're okay. And it's good for me to see that, you know, eventually I can probably get to a place where I'm okay with it. But, you know, it's just having that support system. And I feel like it's something that I just can't talk to people in my life about, because they just won't get it. They won't understand. At least that's how I feel. And so it's been a way for me to not keep everything inside. And so I will say this, like, you know, sometimes when I get on and make a video, I will sometimes, like, not even half the time realize what I'm talking about. I will just, like, everything that's inside of me will just start coming out. And I may say things that I don't even realize I've said, that I maybe shouldn't have said. And, you know, sometimes I will edit it out of the video, but a lot of times if I like edit the video right after I've made it and I'm still sort of in that emotional mindset, I may not edit certain things out. I may just keep it in because it's kind of like I'm just trying to get it out, and I'm hoping that someone in the comments will like have the same situation and we can connect. So, you know, like a lot of times I just don't really think, like I'm just getting everything out. And even a lot of times, like once I've uploaded a video, a lot of times I will totally forget about anything that I've talked about in that video. And so sometimes like a couple of days later, I'll get a comment on that video and they'll refer to something that I talked about in the video, and I don't even know what they're talking about. And I will actually have to go back and watch my own video to remember what are they referring to, so that I can properly answer their question, because I just don't remember. Like this is my way of venting, getting my feelings out and not keeping everything inside, which is very unhealthy. And, you know, so my channel has always been first and foremost my, like, very therapeutic for me. And so that's why, like, making money or not, like, I would still be making my videos because it's therapeutic for me. And it's a way for me to connect with other people who may be going through the same thing. So, you know, with that said, like, I mean, I apologize to anyone out there if I have ever talked about anything that I shouldn't have. Or I also feel like there needs to be understanding on other people's parts that this is my channel, and I should, you know, I should in a sense be allowed to express what I'm feeling, and I should be able to put basically any content that I feel the need to put on my channel, whether that be role-playing, whether that be whatever. I mean, I have such a variety of videos on my channel, and I love doing a variety of videos. Like, I would get bored doing the same thing over and over. So I like to keep the variety on my channel and have fun videos and have more serious talk videos, like just a mixture. But no matter what type of video I do, it's always it's a creative outlet for me and a therapeutic outlet for me. And so, like, it's really frustrating to feel like you're being censored on your channel, and it's very frustrating to feel like your channel is being policed. And I'm not just talking by actual people like people online or people in your life. I'm even talking about, like I said, like YouTube itself with their stupid policies. And I mean, I can understand where the policies start off. But I also feel like the policies go to an extreme at some point. Especially when it comes to like this whole thing with children's content. Like, I feel like there's YouTube Kids. People should be encouraged to use YouTube Kids with their children. And if they choose not to, if they choose to hand their child regular YouTube, that should be considered consent. Because that was the whole issue, was like they're saying, oh, kids are watching regular YouTube, their information's being collected without consent. Well, in my opinion, parents are giving their consent by handing their kids regular YouTube and not using the YouTube Kids app. So that shouldn't even be part of a policy, in my opinion. It should be that it's up to parents to parent their child and monitor what their child is watching. So, you know, it's just, I don't know how you guys feel out there with your YouTube channels. Like, do you feel like we're being censored more and more through YouTube changes and policies? Do you also feel that your family has an influence on what you can or cannot talk about on your channel, or friends or whatever, like the public? Do you feel the public has made you feel a little more censored on your channel on what you should and shouldn't talk about? Or do you just feel like, do you feel the need to censor yourself? Like, I know we all have a choice of what we share and don't share on our YouTube channel. And it should always be the creator's choice what they share and don't share. I don't know. I don't really, that's basically what I'm talking about. So, you know, it's like, yes, going in, you know, now it's a new year. I am going to try to obviously be a little more mindful and careful about what I talk about on my channel or how I word things, I guess. Be a little more conscious about it. But at the same time, on the flip side, I don't want to fully censor myself. Like, I'm not really 100% sure on what I'm okay, like what's considered okay for me to talk about. Like, I just hope that, you know, people realize that this is a therapeutic outlet for me, and I should be allowed to talk about my feelings around topics that have to do with the emotions that come with having a chronic illness. And, you know, instead of me just keeping that to myself and having to mentally deal with it by myself. And I mean, yes, I could go to therapy, and I have seriously considered going to therapy, and I might at some point do that. But again, I feel like unless the person you're talking to is in the same situation as you are, they're not going to fully get it. And so for me, I get more out of connecting with you guys out there that are in a similar situation, that are dealing with chronic illnesses, that are dealing with not being able to have children because of your chronic illnesses or mental illness. It is, you know, it is something that people in this world are dealing with. And, you know, it's really upsetting when you've spent your whole life wanting to be a mom, and then you have to make this decision to not become a mom because of your health and well-being. I feel like, in a sense, it's a selfless decision because I'm choosing to not bring a child into a situation where they might not have a fully present mom because of her chronic illness. I feel like, sometimes I feel like it would be very selfish of me to bring a child into that. And so, you know, I feel like it is a selfless decision, but at the same time, it's a heartbreaking decision to have to make. It's a horrible feeling to have to let go of a dream that you've had your entire life. And you're trying to figure out how to come to terms with that, you know, and you don't have anyone in your life that is dealing with the same thing. So they could never fully understand what that's like. Yeah, and it's just, you know, like, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like you're just trying to find that balance of what should you talk about on your channel, what shouldn't you talk about. But then at the same time, you kind of feel like, well, it's your channel. You should be able to say whatever you want to say, talk about whatever you want to talk about, and make whatever kind of videos you want to make. And we shouldn't really be censored. But again, you know, like going back to that video I made about people finding your channel that you don't really want to, you know, when it comes to like the workplace, you know, you do sort of have to think about that aspect, and that, you know, companies do look on social media now, or employers, you know, they look on social media now, and what would they think or about like what you're talking about as well. So there's that aspect, and but it's frustrating that that's the way the world has to be, that we have to censor so much, or we have to be cautious or careful. Like, if it helps us to, like, if it helps emotionally to talk about whatever, then we should be allowed to do that and not judged for that. I don't know. Anyways, YouTube creators in the Reborn community, in the chronic illness community, what are your feelings on this? How do you feel when you're making your videos? What do you try to keep in mind when you're making your videos? Do you censor yourself? Do you not? Do you feel like YouTube's policies are starting to stifle the creators' creativity and just, you know, censoring us? What are your thoughts on this topic? What are your ways of handling it, dealing with it? I think it's an important topic to talk about. And yeah, so as I say, it's like going into this new year, I just want to try and find that right balance of still being able to express myself and share my feelings, but also being a little more careful and cautious about what I should talk about and what I shouldn't talk about. But it's really hard. It's hard to navigate that. Excuse me. So anyways, guys, that is it for this video. And here is Haley, and she's got her, I love this little fox on here. It's so cute. So she's all snug as a bug, and I will be putting her back in her bassinet. I've done a little moving around and I've got her back in the bassinet. I just felt like because she's a sleeping baby, she should be displayed in a bassinet. Like having her in the bouncy chair just looked weird to me because she's sleeping. You wouldn't keep a sleeping baby in a bouncer. So, and this is like kind of my dilemma with closed-eyed babies, and that gives me an idea for another video to talk about closed-eyed versus open-eyed. So I'm going to jot that down and stay tuned for that video. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to keep up on any new videos, and we'll see you next time. Bye!